Hello and welcome to Mandatory Fun Time Channel. I am your host Shagitto, and we are back again with some world building and ramblings. Here with me is the Zarnold.
World building.
Yeah, world building.
How are we doing today?
Yeah, how are we doing today? I am doing great. Excited for the stream, man. Excited to get into the Shadowdark because I love Shadowdark, and I will be live streaming that probably early next year or so as I get some of these other projects kind of done and finished up. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm better than yesterday. I've had a really brutal migraine for Tuesday, like behind my eye, and then Wednesday I woke up and it had just moved to the other side of my head.
Oh, dude, that's fucking.
I think
horrible.
I had like a pinched nerve in my neck too, like if that was causing it. I don't know, but I feel better, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting old is awesome.
All right, let's get a little music going here.
Oh yeah, some chill vibes, dude.
Yeah,
chill vibes.
Make sure that goes on to repeat. Doop. Not too loud.
The weather's really nice right now too, so.
Oh yeah, I went on a walk with Bree and my daughter after work once I got home. It was really nice.
Oh yeah, man. It's a little hot in the kitchen, but I'll take it.
Oh yeah, dude, I imagine it is. But that sucks.
At least I don't work with pizza, man, because then you just got ovens going all day, and that's a nightmare.
Yeah, for sure. All right. All right, so last time we got the breach covered, man, and that was pretty awesome, pretty epic. We came up with basically when the breach happens, it kind of like spearheads the Civil War, the Dragon King Civil War going on, and just decimates the world. Lots of nightmarish things going on, and we kind of fleshed out what as a ghoul kind of looks like. So
yeah, I really liked where we ended up with that.
Yeah, me too, dude. I thought that was like nice. As far as like what he does, what he looks like in the mortal realm when he like comes here,
how he appears to other people.
Yeah, causes minor madness. All right, and then we got all the way down to how it ends, where basically it'll be kind of like a campaign, and we'll see how it goes. But a lot of people and creatures, dragons, faint divinities coming together with the heroes and all working together to really get this knocked out of the park and get this abomination god pushed back.
Yeah.
And we kind of fleshed out like what's going on, like how are people surviving. We went over with the dwarves. They're the main reason civilization has survived, because they're deep underground, and there'll be some conflicts with that and shit, as far as like some of them taking in refugees and some of them not. Yeah,
or even potentially, there could be a clan of dwarves that's like down with the cult, and so there's a small bit of war going on down there.
Yeah, dark dwarves, as he would say.
So yeah, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of wealth there. You could run a lot of stuff with just what we have so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that as well. And then we kind of touched on like the couriers, like the people that are passing information.
Oh yeah,
how important they are to civilization, getting people like kind of banding together and creating resistance. Viva la resistance.
Yeah. And how that's kind of like a coveted position. Like, it's a cool thing. You're like a cool dude. If you're a courier.
Yeah, you get like a lot of luxuries.
And that creates cool role play advantages for characters if they want to pursue being a courier.
Yeah, and then we can also have some like really cool NPC couriers where like that's a big thing. Like while the people are in maybe a dwarven city or whatever, some couriers come in. Maybe they're fucked up. They bring news from the surface, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And then we talked about reverse engineering some of the technological kind of magical abominations that the Dark God will create, and how they kind of reverse engineer it later on to make planks and those types of ancestries, as they would be called in Daggerheart.
Yeah.
And now we are on to Shadowdark.
Pretty nice little bow on it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Era. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, what do we got? So, can you see Zarny, the screen in there?
What, and where? In Discord?
No, not in Discord. In the Streamlabs.
Oh, you're doing it there. Let me check. No.
Let's see. Okay. You know what? Maybe that might be a little easier if I just screen my stream. What, was that right? Yeah, that. Bloop. There you go. That should be up in Discord now.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So what is this? It's 18 too. 18. Okay, so this is what I had written down like a while ago when I first started kicking around these ideas with Zarny, which obviously some of this might change a little bit since we've fleshed out some more stuff. So in the year 10,890, the breach has been closed. Entities from Azagul's world have fled into hiding. Some adventurers hunt them down, while others stumble upon them in old forgotten dungeons. The magic in the world is faint, but enough for magic users. The remaining races start building a new way of life. And then at the end of the era, somehow Palpatine returned, and a mana tree is planted. And the big thing about this, like the mana tree, is like, you know, I grew up I think I've already talked about this, like growing up playing RPGs with my mom, and one of them was Secret of Mana, and you know, the whole mana tree in general is just like a super awesome idea to me. And that's something I'll flesh out a little bit more in Daggerheart, which I think I already told you about with the elves species and stuff. So
yep. And I actually had some thoughts on that.
Okay.
But when it comes to, like, you know, what's the next big important event? You know, like, what's the next big world changing thing? And I'm gonna say it probably makes sense for it to have to do with the tree.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, I was thinking, like, so you know how we've got entities from Azagul's world, they fled into hiding, right? Some of, you know, if the breach is closed, not everything can escape, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just chilling in old forgotten dungeons and adventurers come across them. Maybe there's areas where, you know, there's a good number of them and they're just doing their thing off in the, because, you know, the world got laid to waste, right? So there are going to be corners of the world for them to be in hiding. And what if the people, you know, that planted the tree, that know about the tree, and it's this new thing, and it's bringing new life back to the world and magic back to the world, don't understand that the roots of the tree are actually over time spreading throughout the whole world.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? But once they get certain distance in certain directions, they run into corrupted ground. And that starts to infect the tree. Or something along those lines, right? And so now maintaining the health of the tree becomes more important. Whereas before, the tree just was like, hey, it's all good. But there are areas of corruption still that haven't been cleared out that are negatively impacting the tree. And it could probably take people's a long while to figure out what's really going on, you know?
Yeah.
As I was just reading over this earlier today, I was like, that's something that could work. Just throwing it out there for now.
Yeah, I like it. I'll put it down there, and we will touch on that a little bit more. I like it. All right. So the breach has been closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. However, the world is fucked, dude. It's like,
yeah.
You know, it's like dark clouds all over the place. Atmosphere itself is, you know, it could have changed during the breach. Like maybe it's to the point where there's hardly any sunlight because of the atmosphere, being manipulated by the Azagul and his creatures and everything. So it's kind of like, you're coming out and, there's some brightness past the dark clouds, and then it just gets like super dark at nighttime and shit like that. And you can't see any stars, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's almost like a nuclear winter situation.
Yeah. Nuke.
And then, like, maybe that's the importance of planting the tree, is not to just bring magic back, but maybe the tree is something that, like, helps re-terraforming the environment to try to, like, shift the balance of nature back to where it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then so one thing I wanted to go over is, like, Azagul's world, they have fled, yeah. So Azagul's minions and all that are not able to go through the breach back with Azagul, they're left stranded in this world where over time friggin' the atmosphere and everything and the weather all kind of like starts going back to somewhat normal, right? So after that they'll have to go into hiding, and sometimes most of the time it's like deep into the underground, into old forgotten dungeons, stuff like that, anywhere where they can like get out of the sunlight and also just kind of bide their time. Maybe some of them have a high intelligence and they're trying to reach others to kind of bring back Azagul.
Right, so it's almost like everything that happened with people going underground and the dwarves and everything ends up starting to like shift positions, except for the dwarves that want us to continue to live underground. So like that could be a thing that starts happening where these evil creatures are like, now they're pushing into caves and places where civilization has been hiding out this whole time. And so it's like, oh, what's going on? And we still have contact with the surface, right? Because the faint divinities are always going to be up there, like, doing their thing. And we start getting information. People start getting information that, like, okay, like, the surface is kind of starting to come together, man. Maybe we should get up there and start putting things back together. Yeah. And trying to figure out how to fix the world. And then that's what leads to the tree and all that. And I guess I had a question about the tree. I'm guessing that the people that are the cause for this whole the tree being planted, is this going to be player characters, right? It's going to be an adventure that players pull this off, or okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe they don't.
Yeah,
alternate timelines.
And then we have to change it.
Yeah,
which is totally fine.
Which if by the way, shout out to Inket. He's here in the chat. Appreciate you coming over here, buddy, and checking out the video. Search him on YouTube, guys. He has some really funny videos out there. He does some like game show type D&D content, and he covers a lot of ttrpgs. So go check him out, especially if you're into Talespire. He has a lot of Talespire videos. So check that out. Let's see. So back to Shadowdark. I feel like we'll go over. Let me move my mic. We'll go over some of the locations, because I have been putting up some maps in OneNote as far as the Shadowdark Era, and then I got some other tabs open that explain those places, and we can kind of like brainstorm about where this goes. But I think going over these maps that are in the Shadowdark magazines, or whatever you'd call them, the zines or zines or whatever, like they're basically these cursed scrolls, and friggin' they go over an adventure. They have some new player types, classes, and I think a couple of them have some races in them.
So it's like a supplemental thing that comes out later.
Yes. So we'll go over that here in a second. The big thing I want to take away in Shadowdark is like how important the couriers were with getting information around. Like, I also want it to transition to adventurers during this time, like in Shadowdark, like not right away. Like, you know, we talked like there won't be any like really campaigns at 1089, right? So except for the one that ends the breach. But after a while, once civilization has built back up, you know, they'll need to push further out into the world and try to reclaim more and more to ensure like there are no dangers that are just going to come and wipe out this small town, you know, stuff like that. Right.
So heroes and adventurers, especially the ones with access to magic still, are going to become really important for getting out there, scouting around, seeing what needs to be where, what's going on where, and trying to take care of these things, chasing down the remnants of Asgul's forces. Yeah. So now the heroes and adventurers who have been working really hard just to keep society together while they're kind of in hiding are really starting to get pumped up into like, okay, now we got to go back out there and like start reclaiming stuff. I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. A few elite minions of Asgul who have high intelligence and plan behind the scenes. All right, so we touched on that. Let's see, some adventurers hunt them down. Yeah, after some time. Let's say after some time, civilization rebuilds. Now, let's backtrack just a little bit. As far as a civilization rebuild, it's like, how is that gonna go? Like, God, man.
Well, some people are gonna want to go home. Some people are gonna want to go home, and some people are gonna want to go to the easiest place that has the most reasonable resources for them to build something new. So you're gonna have a change in all the factions. Yeah, and also, were any races wiped out during the breach?
Yes.
Like, are there any peoples that are just like, they're no more?
Yep. Yeah, so we're going to be using, like, the main races from D&D, and, like, some of those don't translate over into Shadowdark. Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah. Some of the races are going to be extinct.
And conflict can come from that, too. Like, say you've got... elves and humans, and the leadership of the elves is like, no, we need to go back to our forest. That's a great place of magic and resources and da-da-da-da-da. But the humans are like, hell no, dude, we need to go rebuild our castle in the bay so we have access to water and we can rebuild our ship. We can build ships and start sailing again, so we can try to repopulate different areas with different resources. And there could be a conflict between the different remaining races about what the collective energy should be put towards. So there might be a little bit of struggle there too.
Yeah, dude, I could see a lot of conflict with that as they argue, like the leaders of different peoples kind of argue about what's most important. But one thing, like I think about is like, hey, it's been 3,000 years. How many maps were, you know, saved, salvaged, brought down? Like, you know, the dwarves, they probably have some maps, right?
Right, so it is a long time. So, like, you're talking generations and generations and generations. Like, people might not even really remember where they should go if they wanted to go home, air quotes. Their home's been this the whole time. So it might end up just being more of kind of a Wild West. You know, there might be some
like that.
elders that had their elderhood, I guess you would call it, passed down while surviving the breach. And they still have the old knowledge, and they still want to go home. And it creates a faction, so there can still be the conflict there. But a lot of people might just be like, "Hey, it's the gold rush, baby! I'm gonna go make it on my own. I'm gonna start my own town. I'm gonna take the people, my friends, and my loved ones that I have now, and we're just gonna go because no one has a claim to this land anymore. It's been 3,000 years."
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, that could be a huge thing. It's just like, bro, this isn't the same world anymore, guys. So like, you can like try to go back and reclaim those, you know, elven areas or whatever. But if you can, you can,
and I think the people that do try to do that, they're not just going to walk into a bunch of overgrown ruins. They might run into the remnants of the cult that are still there that took over that area after everybody got pushed out of their homes. And now it's like, oh, you want to take your home back? Well, it turns out you don't have the army that you need to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be what you want it to be when you get there. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this whole timeline right here with the Shadowdark is going to be super fun because like you said, it's going to be like the Wild West, dude, and like it's going to be hard to figure out like what's the right move, you know, right after friggin' the breach. Is this like, yeah, we're back up top on the surface. World's getting better, kind of cleaning itself up now that the influence of the Dark God is gone, you know. And it's just like there are no claims really unless you go out and take it, like with a show of strength.
Yeah, and that's what the adventurers could be doing. I mean, obviously adventurers are going out and they're cleaning up remnants, you know, taking out monsters, exploring dungeons, looking for valuables and dealing with that whole thing still. But there's, you know, every one of them might have their own goals, and they might be looking to get out of here and just get back up there and just try to live a different life again, you know? Like, let's go see what's out there. Because it's a whole new world to them, generations later. And it's theirs for the taking. So I think that could be really cool. You know, they come back and they're like, hey, we found these guys. We took them out. We got some loot. We found these magic items. This is hella dope. But, you know, I keep doing this and I'm kind of like, you know, I'm feeling like I kind of want to go find my own place to be. Or maybe me and my party members are like, dude, let's go start our own clan. Let's go start our own village where we're just all badass fighters and warriors and adventurers, and we, you know, start our own trade organization.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Where we don't have kings and queens telling us what to do anymore. And they may not necessarily be good or, you know, good or bad, but I think people would, in a situation like that, would be looking at the opportunity to do something their own way with the people that share their vision, you know?
Absolutely. I think that'd be pretty sick. Inket said like, well, you get to keep the frogs at least. I'm like, yeah, that is cool. I do like one thing in Daggerheart where there's the frog, the ribbits species. I think that's so cool. And now that they've allowed the ancestries to be mixed, you can have like a some sort of friggin' ribbit plank, you know, a metalloid friggin' frog guy. I think it'd be pretty cool. I just love where they're going with Daggerheart, with the freedom to like mix things up and kind of like, you know, work with your players to create the world and stuff. So, but back to Shadowdark, dude. I really like the idea of like the land claims, right? So, you know, let's say there's some humans and they're like, dude, we want to go to, you know, the motherland or whatever, but we have to get there fast. You know, we need someone to go scout there. You know, we need people to rediscover the land. So we need scouts.
Right.
So we need adventurers to go out there, you know, take care of the immediate threat and like kind of scout the area for that group that's hired them, basically.
Yeah, like, hey, we're looking to build a shipyard. So we need a place that's got a lot of trees. We need access to water. And we're going to build a town there. We just need you to find this for us. And then we're going to build ships and we're going to sail north back to where we want to go, you know? And so the adventurers could be like these liaisons to doing those things.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I always wanted to try in D&D, but maybe we can try in Shadowdark, is where like the players are going out to, like you said, secure their own place, right? So what's that involve? Like becoming a settlement, turning it into a town, turning it into a city. How do you get there, you know? And does that actually work? Does it go smoothly? Like you're gonna get attacked and like there's gonna be issues, there's gonna be competition.
Just think it's exactly like what happened with like the Oregon Trail or you know, the gold rush. People were like, I'm gonna take this humongous risk, throw all my stuff in a cart, and a bunch of people think this is a good idea, so they're coming with me, and we're gonna go through uncharted mountains because we have a feeling that once we get over these mountains, there's gonna be a land of plenty out there just waiting for us, and nobody has a stake on it yet, and we can live our lives the way we want. Like, it just makes sense. And like, it, you know, how many people make it? How? What do you've just got? What does a town start by? Just the 4 original adventurers that just use that as like a waypoint to camp and protect their own things, and then they just go on adventures from there, and they don't work for anybody anymore. And then eventually other adventurers catch on to this, and they want to join and become part of it. And they slowly, over time, it's going to build some semblance of a society. It just depends on if they can keep themselves alive long enough to do so.
And I think what would be really cool is like, hey, maybe we don't start out at like level 1 adventures. Maybe you're already like level like 3 or 4 or something. You've already done some stuff. And part of like what you're going to be doing, thank you, is making some contacts. Be like, hey, blacksmith, remember when me and my party saved you from those like, you know, devil bobs or whatever, you know, whatever monster and stuff? Like, we have a proposition for you. You want to come to our settlement and like kind of be our blacksmith, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of the contacts and people could be just civilians, NPCs that they've, you know, contacted and talked to, or maybe saved along the way in their earlier adventures.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, like, hey, are you, you know, tired of just working down here forever, or have you thought about the future? You know, we're thinking about breaking out of here, and we could use your help. And you know, you already know we can protect you. So, what do you say we go make a stake on the new world?
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I think it would be too.
All right, so after some time, civilization rebuilds. There will be conflict between the races about where to start rebuilding. There will be land claims for races where they send out scouts and adventurers to help secure positions. Some adventurers can build settlement that could turn into a town. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Some adventurers will hunt them down. We'll hunt down. Let me change that. We'll hunt down. Azagul? Minions and such, while others stumble upon old, forgotten dungeons while seeking loot. While seeking artifacts, actually. Yeah, dude.
I mean, what's not to say that if a group of adventurers goes out to seek artifacts and they clear out this dungeon, you know, maybe they bring stuff back, trade, do that, and then they go, well, yeah, but you know what, this dungeon, that's now our base of operations.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. I've done that with some D&D players where they climbed up this tower of a mad mage, and like once they're done, they're like, yo, we just saved the king's daughter or whatever, we want this tower. I'm like, absolutely, guys.
Yeah, how cool is that? Like, no, we want our own Batcave, dude. Like,
But yeah, I was just thinking though, you know, they're seeking artifacts. Like, I imagine some of the long-lived races, or just maybe some of those who have kept really good lore of their, you know, of their history of the race, will be like, dude, we need this sword of justice that was lost, you know, 3,000 years ago in this area. We need you to go find that. And I think that'd be pretty cool, because then people are just like, how much are you going to pay me to risk my life to do this? And that's how they're going to, you know, get themselves set up in life.
Right,
it's just
a lot of the long-lived races are, you know, there are good lore keepers and historians, so they're gonna want to rebuild their people's history. So them being like, go find this one-of-a-kind rare item because it's part of our history and it's priceless.
Yes, yeah,
like that would definitely happen.
Absolutely. Oh man, I'm getting so pumped up, man. I want to play fucking Shadowdark.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we got that going on. Taking the artifacts. I think that's sick. Magic in the world is faint, but not for magic users. The remaining races start building a new way of life. All right. So we kind of covered all that right now. We'll get to that in a second. One thing I wanted to do though is that's not it. There we go. All right. So those Zines, right, that I told you about, those adventures.
Yeah.
So this first one at the top, see how it has all the numbers and stuff. Those, what I really like is they create this kind of big map where you can put it wherever, and then they give brief descriptions about all of these, except for one. I think one is like the main, like friggin' campaign or mini adventure, whatever, of the you know, the supplement. Then the rest are just like have a couple paragraphs about them. So, and I'll show that to you right now.
So is each one of those locations, is that like a place where people can go and like go delving or have an adventure?
Yes.
Those are all like points of interest for adventurers.
Points of interest. Here we go. All right. The first one is the Glooming. And that says, bloop. So, an ancient forest where black trees tower over mossy standing stones and mist-addled bogs. Here, fragile bastions of mankind cluster behind torchlit palisades and pray for deliverance from the demons that hatch from the forest's cursed marrow trees. So that sounds gross.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. The Knights of Saint Yidris range out of their deepwood conclave to wage a losing war against these demons and their servants. The Knights' leader, Inquisitor Justina Morven, suspects a traitor in their ranks. Yeah. Can I copy this? Copy? I don't think so. Nope. Nope. Didn't work. Oh god, what is it?
Oh no! Fuck. Oh no!
Alright. Alright, no worries. So we got that, right? So that tells us about here, and then we have random rumors. Like, this is one thing I love about Shadowdark is how these are made. So like, hey, we got some rumors about some stuff going on. And then we have random encounter zones and random encounters. The main thing is, let me turn this back. Bloop. There you go. So the hex key, 102 is the shattered tower. So a crumbling keep in a clearing choked with thorns. Can I do that? Okay, there we go. Thorns and nettles. A heavy trapdoor in the ruins leads down to an old cistern where a dark shape slithers beneath the putrid algae. And that's it. And a lot of these places, that's what's going on here. Is like, you can see right here, they have a couple paragraphs and some stuff going on. And not all of them are going to be like places where you need to go fight. Some of them are like a village. This one right here, a village of a few dozen sagging thatched huts surrounds a stone well. So that's what I really love about Shadowdark with these supplements and stuff. So I would really like to kind of throw some of this shit in the map, or in the map of the Daggerheart. To kind of be like, hey, the glooming hex key, like this area would be around this area.
No, it's perfect, yeah.
Let's see.
So if adventurers go to that area on the world map, they can interact with all of this stuff.
Yeah. Yes. All right, so let's go back to the main map, which is right here. So this is the glooming thing, right? So the glooming hex. Let me go get that description real quick. I should have had this up. I'm sorry, but I forgot. Bloop. Oh man, my computer doesn't like me doing all this stuff. I hate that I can't fucking just copy and paste it. I don't know what's going on with that. But all right, so this is ancient forest where black trees tower over mossy standing stones and mist-addled bogs. All right, so that's it. So we need to find kind of a foresty area for all of this. So
yeah,
we'll go to Daggerheart now. Bam, put that down. So we have a lot of options for foresty area, but let's first think like, where do we want this? Do we want this on the top one? The middle? Oh, the middle has like a lot of mountains.
So on the top one, right away I noticed in the middle of it, there's that lake with an island on it.
Yeah.
And if you go back to the other map, it's got something very similar with the rivers coming off of it and things.
Other map. Oh, okay. No, sorry, I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the Shadowdark map. See, it's got the rivers coming off of it. It's got an island. So, I mean, there's a similarity there.
Yeah.
And it does look forested around the area.
Yeah, it does, except for this part right here. This looks like this is like some sort of like settlement here, like some old fortress and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We could definitely do that.
But in the Daggerheart era, it would be long after Shadowdark. So during the Shadowdark era, the landscape may have looked different. Like maybe the water was higher in Shadowdark, and so the lake was bigger, and it didn't seem as like there was as many cliffs on the north side.
Yeah.
But that really comes down to, because we've talked about this before, but that really comes down to how you want if you want to mess with the water levels changing and how you want that to go. Do they get higher over time or lower? Or are they higher or lower at different times just in general?
Yeah, I kind of like that. I think this is a really big lake in the Daggerheart, and in the Shadowdark, it's actually a smaller lake. And this is where the Glooming Hex would be. I kind of like that. Let's see, insert. What can I insert? Text? Something?
What would be cool if you could insert is a link right in the middle of that lake that when you clicked it, it would pull up that map.
Yeah, I could probably do that in OneNote. I just haven't looked into it as much as I should. Oh, there's a draw.
Because that would, you started populating maps that way, so you could have like a main map, and then you could just pop things open, and that would just make your life so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know there are a handful of like world building suites or software suites for world building that are out there that probably allow you to do stuff like that. But I've never looked into them. I just write stuff down on this when I have a good idea.
Yeah.
Then I wing it.
Yeah. And I wing it. Why am I not allowed to draw? I would like to draw. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Not working. Getting fucked over here. Oh man, I need to stop swearing.
Oh.
Oh no, dude, I don't want that. I want it on there. I want to put this thing on it. Oh well.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, can I make this just a little bit small? Let me go with.
Can you change the color of the font?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't want it that big. Alright, well, I'll fucks with this. I am not really good at all the Shadowdark stuff. Why does that keep disappearing? Here we go. That's fine. Let's go no color. Let's go bold, underline, and black. Doesn't look black.
Maybe you have to retype it.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Does it just take a second?
No, I had to like hit it. I had to like hit the actual color again.
Yeah, this is all Braille to me. I've never used OneNote.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine right there. Glooming Hex, cool. One last thing. Can I link that? Because like you said, that would be really cool. Insert tag. Nah. All right.
Yeah, like if you could just turn it into a hyperlink that takes you to that map, that'd be so sick.
Do.
I wonder, you know what?
All right. So we got the Glooming Hex there. I'm really happy with that.
Okay, so yeah, I think it works out. And I just checked. You can create hyperlinks to other documents in OneNote to quickly access related content, such as web pages or files in OneDrive. You can also create links to other sections. Select the text or picture you want to link. Do you want to try this?
Yes. Oh, okay. So that's over there. Let me open it up. I'm trying it right now. I'm sorry, people. I know this isn't like really exciting and stuff, but it is for me. I love this shit.
This will make your life so much easier once you know how to do this.
Mm-hmm. Do maps, and we go to the Shadowdark. Yeah, that didn't work. All right. What am I fucking up here? Oh, jeez. Well, I think this is something I'm gonna figure out later off stream.
Yeah, I can send you the link for this,
Okay.
so you can. It's only like 4 steps, but yeah. Basically, what it looks like is you would go to the map that you want to link, and then you would choose Insert Link. Press Control K. If you selected text, it appears in the text to display box. In the address box, you can type the link to a website or choose the buttons to browse the web or locate a file. So you would just instead of doing the insert thing, you would just go to the address box, use the browse button to pull up the map, and then choose OK, and it'll create that link. So, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. I'll just copy this and send it to you. It seems not very complicated, but we shall see.
Okay.
Oops, I just clicked the wrong thing. Oh.
All right, the next one is doop, 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 doop. This one right here. Let me switch on over. All right, to this one right here. This is the Dejurum hex. So this one is a vast shimmering. Can I copy that? No. Let me type it here. Right here. A vast shimmering desert where red mountains and stand silent and watch over wind-blown valleys and undulating sand dunes. All right, so merchant caravans pick their way between fragile oases that dot the wastes, hoping to miss the path of the mountain bandits. Ooh, mountain bandits! A howling sandstorm or the skyborn death of the Scourge. Here, Ifrit haunted canyons hide the ancient redoubt of the Razgode assassins, and priceless secrets lie buried, waiting for the winds to shift in their favor.
So those ancient bandits and their cool secrets that are buried there could be one of those things that like a certain people's is like, yo, this is part of our heritage. That was our home. If you can retrieve this stuff, so that could be a reason to go to that area. Is like what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Or like the descendants of these people that left all that behind are like, yo, we want to rebuild our heritage.
Yeah, there's a fortress ruins here. The shell of a once mighty sandstorm fortress lists man, some of these words are weird. So the way that they write this is weird to me, I guess. The shell of a once mighty sandstorm fortress lists in the dunes like a sunken ship. Blast marks mar its walls, and shards of blue-tinged glass pepper the sand around it. 20 ghosts of its former guards materialize inside its broken halls each full moon, whispering curses upon a beast called the Scourge. 1410. Only the Scourge's skull will bring them rest. They gift its bearer the scimitar of ash. Ooh, of Ash Moon.
Oh, well, that sounds like a fun thing that could happen upon.
Yeah, dude.
I'll take one.
Yeah. Cool, dude. Bloop. Let me go back to OneNote. All right, so desert. So we got the Glooming Hex up here, right? Where are we gonna have a deserty area?
You know what? I just noticed this top 2 maps are the same map stuck together.
Yeah, they are. I fucked up.
Oh, they're all the same.
Oh man,
it's funny though because they match up perfectly.
Yeah, they do.
What the hell?
I was. Go on. Oh wait, hold on. I think that's not what I wanted. Boop boop. There we go. I think what I was doing is like I kept making duplicates up here, and then I deleted them all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Man, I was looking at all of them. I'm just like, man, this looks so weird and shit. But all right. Here we go. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
That looks better. Yeah.
So it's a mountainous area, right?
It's a desert. Yeah, desert with mountains.
Desert mountains. Okay.
That's so weird right there. I don't know. Let's put this on a different continent than the first one. You know, I got 3 of them. We'll put it on each continent, I guess.
Yeah. Can you zoom in a little bit for me?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all good. So that's definitely a forest there around that lake. I think more in the northern area looks like it's less forested.
Yeah, up in here.
And you said there was like a keep too, right?
Yes.
Like an old
There's
fortress?
Yeah, a fortress, a ruined, yeah.
So just there's like some ruins and fortress just to the left of where your mouse is right now, like in this area. Yeah, right in this area. It all looks like it's not forested. And there's desert to the south of it too. If you look at that, you can see all the cracks in the mud.
Oh, this right here? Yeah.
Uh-huh. That looks like desert to me. So that could be a potential area. There's also a big hole in the ground up to the north.
Yeah, it looks like
cool caves. Like, this is a really cool looking area.
Yeah.
There's also a fortress to the east, though, like the northeast corner. There's
Right
a
here?
fortress up there, further up, like east of where you are.
Right
A
here?
little higher up,
Right there?
right there. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's some potential locations up there.
Yeah. Let's see. What would be really good, dude? This that fortress. Well,
Because
let me go
and at the end of the day, it's a TTRPG, so it doesn't have to match perfectly.
Yeah, so we
Just
got
needs to have the right vibe at least, you know.
yeah, so we got like 2 different little mountain ranges going on. We got the Gilzai Mountains and the Silent Mountains, and then we got a bunch of
to the
flats.
southeast is the Salt Flats. So there was that Salt Flats area that I mentioned first,
Yeah.
right over there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got your fortress.
These are some like cliff area.
Mm-hmm. Because it looks like the fortress on the Dagger or on the Shadowdark map, it looks like they're up on these cliffs
Mm-hmm.
where, like, at one point there probably would have been water around them, but there's not anymore because it's a desert now.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because the breach probably would have completely changed the area.
Okay. Yeah.
But those are the first. That's like the first place that really sticks out. That seems to match the vibe at least.
Yeah.
It also does look like there's a bunch of sand and stuff down there to the right, but there's no fortresses or anything. There's a big chasm there. That looks like there might be a little something down there, a little tower or something to the left of it, where those 3-4 holes are. Yeah, like right there.
Yeah. This is pretty cool.
But
I
it's
wonder if
all
this is gonna be like
forested.
volcanoes.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Man, this is kind of hard. Like the other one was super easy. Like, yeah, dude, we'll just put it right there. This one's just like, oh man, I want some mountains, but like I want it to make sense. I don't know what this is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does look like a whole mountain range, and you've got the salt flats. So there's 2 points right there that kind of make sense. It's not exactly geographically the same or geologically the same,
Yeah.
but it does have some of the characteristics that you're looking for.
Right. You know what? Yeah, like right where my mouse is, like let's put it like right in here. So we got some mountains down to the south and then some mountains to the east. maybe like this mountain range is different. Like this kind of goes over to here and then stops, and this is a whole nother mountain range or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think right here is good enough. I don't want to do that. Can I just put a sticker there?
Yeah. That guy, he seems perfect. What is that?
I have no idea. There's some stickers.
Oh, you could probably make stickers with like AI or something and just load them up and plop them in there.
Yeah.
But just use it as a placeholder.
Alt text, make text and image searchable, rotate. I don't know. Just want to draw on some shit.
That would make things really easy.
Alright, what did we say? It's like right in here. Ooh. Hey, alright. Good enough.
Hey, it's working.
Alright. Bloop. Bloop. Alright, so we got that and that. Alright, cool. Now we have to figure out the last one, which I think isn't going to be too hard. I think the other one's like swamps and shit.
Okay.
Oops, that's not what I want. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, the Isles of Andric. Never mind. Let me take that off. There we go.
We got a lot of islands down here, so that works.
Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. Let me come back just a little bit on that for everyone to see later. Kind of like where this was at. Let me. Oh, I missed that. Oh well, that's okay. I don't want to do that. Undo. I'm trying to go back to text. I don't want to do this anymore. Delete two. Oh no. Dude. I realize how complicated OneNote is, or how it can be with all the tools that it can.
Sure.
That you can have.
I mean, I'm sure if you used it every day for work or something, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But
yeah. All right. So the Isles of Andaric, I think it is. So these are ice-rimmed isles with plunging fords and towering peaks. Drakes nestle high in these foreboding mountains, and the mythical Diverge toil deep. Wonder what that is. The Diverge. They toil deep within their roots. Hard-scrabbled fishers and farmers gather in smoky longhouses during the Arctic Long Dark. Ooh, Arctic Long Dark.
So it's like a Arctic thing where like there's like months of darkness.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, cool. Consulting with their far-eyed seers about what the fates and the old gods plan for them. When the spring brings the midnight sun, they transform into howling sea wolves, sailing to distant shores and dragon-headed longboats to raid for gold and glory. Bunch of were-peoples. I like it.
Hell yeah. Were-Vikings.
Yeah, were-Vikings. That's what it is.
Dude.
Alright, cool. Let me go back to my OneNote. Alright. So this is what we got going on here. We got a little group of islands. Got the Drake Peaks, so a little bit of mountainage and some treeage going on with a small little river here. So just need like a little cluster of mountains, or I mean a little cluster of islands, and I think we'll be good to go.
And these would be the three main places adventurers would be going to adventure to start the beginnings and footholds of the new world, right?
Yeah. I think that'd be a good idea. We can also do some homebrew stuff, but I think like as a base, these would be like the top three. Like everyone can like get involved in and go to these areas and like start their characters here.
So it looks like, as far as islands that have trees on them, kind of where you were just at, it's like a circle. They're all circles though. That's the funny thing. So there's lots of islands, but Getting them to match up, I think it's going to be difficult just because of the way they did this.
Yeah.
There is this clump up to the northeast where the islands are less circular and a little more clumped together, but there's also doesn't look like it's mountainy and foresty.
Yeah, so hold on, let's think.
I'm sorry, I meant northwest.
Oh, I'm less like, oh yeah, I do actually like northwest, dude. Northwest is a really
this
good
little
idea.
Part down
like
here,
that
it's
right
not
here,
like a perfect circle of islands. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this like right here. Yeah. Let me undo that. Oop.
And when you think about that on scale, it makes the Daggerheart world really big.
Yeah.
If you were to put that one thing right there, there's so much more world for after Shadowdark, where a couple seats of power are established, a couple major civilizations are established, and obviously there will be smaller civilizations peppered throughout here, but that really leaves, that establishes kind of the new world, and then Daggerheart's the one where it all really starts to come together and all this space starts getting used even more.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. Okay, cool. So we got the 3 spots. Let me just kind of do them all uniform. Yep. Here we go. I need to watch some YouTube videos on OneNote. I feel like you can do a lot with this. I just am so ignorant of the ways of the OneNote. But it's all good. So one thing I wanted to ask though, like, so these circular, big circular places, like, where the ground and land is gone.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of that happened during the breach, but like I want to know like how that happened. Is it because of one of these spheres? Like, were these originally some sort of like energy bombs that they started going off? This one defused, this one broke and malfunctioned, and actually just turned into a levitating ball, or what?
Yeah. So, well, okay, maybe that one. Okay, this is cool. That one was actually built underground underneath this massive castle or citadel or whatever it is. It was intentionally designed to completely obliterate the mountain and the entire castle with it, but it malfunctioned somehow, or there was a magical force that was opposing it, and it ended up just causing this floating city to be created, or this floating castle. That could be kind of fun. But I like that idea because I remember when we first pulled up this map the first time we got together to talk about this, these little orb things that are buried in the ground, they're kind of hidden all over the place. And this whole area with these perfectly circular, they look like impact zones, right?
Yeah.
And they're all filled in with water now because the land where those impacts happened got obliterated and then the ocean rushed in.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if there's lore about what these dome things are or these spherical things are already, but it kind of makes sense that they were like energy bombs or something, and maybe that one just didn't go off, or it hit the ground and didn't detonate, and they had one built underneath this mountain. Who knows? But there's a million directions you can go with it. It's just however you want the flavor to be, unless there's actually hard written lore that you want to use for what they are. Because I think if you scroll up, there's a couple hidden around the other parts of the world too. Here and there. There's like 1 or 2 maybe, if you look closely. Yeah, there's one up here. The side of it's cracked in. It's just straight above where we put the map.
Oh, dude, yeah, I didn't even see
there's
that.
One right there. Yeah. Dude, where's Waldo, man? I love those books when I was a kid. It also looks like there's an impact zone over here to the left. Southwest of the glowing hex. Yeah, right there. That might be one. Maybe there's not a sphere on this map. I thought there was, but...
So, like, after seeing this and seeing, like, hey, there is one up here, what I'm thinking is, like, all right, so we're sometime into the breach, maybe, like, a couple thousand, right? And, dude, it's getting fucking frustrating to fully take over the world. And now, because everyone's in the ground, they're like, we're gonna make basically nukes, and that's what they started doing. Is they're blowing this shit up to try to get, just decimate the dwarven clans underneath.
So they're they're going like, what do they call that? Radiation therapy when you have cancer, chemo. They basically are like, we're just gonna chemo the planet. We're just gonna kill everything and then start over. And maybe there's probably people that don't agree with the idea, obviously, because that's it's a pretty rash thing to do. And that could be part of the conflict where there's like one peoples that are like, no, we want our home back now. We have the magic to do this now. We're going to do it. And that could be like a conflict between the other people. Like we mentioned earlier, it could be because like one group of people wants to go super hardcore on it. And the other group of people are like, no, we're willing for this to take generations just to do it the right way. But it still happens. And so there's that conflict there.
Yeah.
So they just make a bunch of mana bombs. Oh, that could be the thing, right? Like sending out adventurers to find latent sources of mana so they can make these mana bombs. And they're actually not a very large structure because it's so powerful. But what happens is when they go to detonate, if they don't detonate properly, they get really large and they form these spheres. Because they don't actually end up detonating, they expand like molecularly at a really great rate, and then they get stuck because they don't detonate properly. Because like magic in the Shadowdark era is not as strong, so it would make sense that a bunch of these failed. Or maybe they were intending for these to be completely different things, and they weren't intending for it to be a disaster, and it ended up being a disaster.
Well, so my idea was like Azagul and his minions made these to get the dwarven clans and all that shit below.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's what I was like alluding to. Is like it's like 2,000 years into the breach, and they're still not taking over the world. There's still remnants. There's still hope going on, and Azagul's whole thing is to snuff out all life, absorb it. And go from there. But if people are still worshiping gods,
he was pushed out before he could detonate all of this. So when they're discovered, there's a group of people that's like, no, we should just use these to just get rid of the remnants of Azagul. Use Azagul's tricks against him. So it's kind of like they're just there already. It's not like a bunch of people got together and created these things to nuke the area.
Right.
They were there already, and then somebody was like, no, we should just use them. We just have to figure out how they work, how to detonate them.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, some remnants from the breach and shit. Yeah, we can definitely play around with that some more. But I was just kind of thinking, like, that's why we have these, like, huge fucking circles, is because Azagul was like, fuck it, let's nuke them. And that didn't like fully come to fruition because, as you can see, like like we talked about, there's one here, this one got fucked up, and then up here there's remnants of one as well. And there could be more hidden, like under, like a little bit underground as well.
Or even in the ocean.
Yeah, in the ocean too.
It's just funny because like ever since we first started looking at this map, I've noticed those things, and I thought they were interesting, and I've always been curious as to what they are. I'm like, what are they? They got to be something cool. Well, we could just make them something cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe, I don't know, man. It's just, it reminds me of like the Traveler from Destiny 2, or from Destiny and Destiny 2.
Right.
But I'm just like, dude, they probably give off a huge, weird energy source. And like maybe there's some worshippers of the sphere and shit like that.
That could be the reason why they're in the Shadowdark era. There is still magic a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of those leftover, the remnants from what Azagul was trying to do. So it kind of makes sense.
Okay. Oh my gosh, how do I go back to text? I do not want to do this anymore.
Now you're drawing again.
Select. There we go. I had to go to the select button. Select. Bam. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, so they start rebuilding. The reigning races start building a new way of life. They discover the... Well... That would have happened in the breach, so never mind. No. They find defective mana bombs. We'll just call them mana bombs, but we can change that.
Mana bombs sounds cool.
Yeah, mana bombs. the world. Some start to study and worship.
Okay, yeah.
Worship them. Others are accidentally. God, I suck. Accidentally. The others are accidentally turned on, but malfunction. Malfunction in some way. And cause a fortress to float, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right,
and you can easily flesh out how you want that to look even more. But it kind of explains the cool orb things.
Yeah, 3 starting zones from the designs, supplements are located on each of the 3 maps.
Because then once the adventurers have gone through those 3 zones and like basically liberated them, that would be the 3 areas that like civilization is starting to rebuild from on the surface, right?
Yeah, I like it.
And then you can flesh out Daggerheart from that, how that looks, where the trade routes would go and how that would all work, where the cities would be.
Yeah, for sure. And then at the end, like we talked about earlier, somehow a mana tree is planted and blooms. It fills the world with mana, again, similar to the dragons. Not really the dragons, similar to the dragons' astral plane. And maybe it is from studying these mana bombs themselves that they are able to somehow take that mana generating essence from them and plant, like put it into something good. Like this is all like a magic and technology merged together to make these mana bombs, right? But now in the Shadowdark era, they're gonna like take that like kind of magic aspect of it and actually put it into something good, something natural,
So I think there would obviously be people that are like doing like research on these things, trying to figure out how they can use the energy from these things to affect things. And there's this guy who's like a botanist, right? And he's been trying to see if he can make it affect crops to grow better in this environment. But none of the seeds that he's trying to do his research with can actually handle the amount of energy these things give off.
Yeah.
And so there could be an adventure that the heroes have to go on to find like a rare seed, or maybe there's like a tree from the that's too silly. There's like this ancient tree that used to live on the world during the D&D era that was really hardy. And maybe there's an area where there was like a volcanic eruption and there's like the tiniest little chance that buried somewhere there in the ash is a seed from this tree that's just been waiting for the right environment to grow again. And that's like an adventure that the heroes have to go on if they can find the seed and defeat whatever gnarly stuff along the way and bring it to this guy. He can actually sprout this mana tree.
Yeah. Right now I'm looking at the deities of Shadowdark. Which I know we're running low on time. We'll go over this more, but I'm just thinking Geed, neutral, the god of, peace, mirth, and the wild. Geed is usually peaceful, but primal storms rage when her anger rises. Many elves and halflings worship her. Maybe some sort of
bringing in some more gods, bringing gods back to the situation.
Yeah.
I think that's a good move.
I'm thinking maybe, some of these gods, maybe this one right here, will have some sort of, not necessarily a child, but like take some of their own essence and make a seed. I don't know, man. I'm kind of going that route where it's just like, something happens to where a part of a, like, it's sentient basically. Like maybe there used to be a god, maybe because in Shadowdark they're like, hey, there were once 9 primary gods, but 2 are lost, forbidden or forgotten. Maybe one of these forgotten gods sacrifices itself to turn into the tree or something, you know.
Oh, like they come back and they're long forgotten, and people are like, "What is this?" And he's like, I'm sorry, my children, for my absence. I bring this to you so that you may succeed in your endeavors.
Yeah, something like
but
that.
That takes it out of the hero's hands. So it would change the whole, like, this group of people that did this being heroes forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Maybe heroes have to go on an adventure to seek out the lost gods because the gods that they know about aren't here to help them anymore. So they go seeking the lost gods, and that can be an adventure. And then they bring, they make their plight to that god, and it's the last thing that god does, for mankind. He's like, this is the last thing I'm ever going to do for you people. You haven't uttered my name in centuries over centuries, but I will do this one last thing for you. But don't ever forget me, and make sure that history goes down right and do the right thing with it.
Yeah. I kind of like, I don't know. I kind of like where we're going with this, but I think like the precursor to that is
it's
like
complex.
Yeah, there's something going on. Another like massive surge of, bad guys basically. And, they do go searching for the forgotten gods because they need help. Maybe the faint divinities are lost during this time, after the breach is closed, like they disappear for a while or something happens. And the heroes go searching for gods for like help because there's a resurgence of some darkness going on. And they find one of the forgotten gods and they're like, you need power to fight this darkness. And
it makes
the only way to do that is to have more mana.
Yeah, and it makes sense that, like, let's say that there was a lawful order the divinities were following. And once the war with Azagul was over, the divinities' responsibility to our world was done. Their contract is finished. So when people reemerge on the surface, they're hoping the divinities are going to be there to welcome them and help them rebuild the world, and they're not there. So there's an impetus on finding the gods or power from the gods, and then they realize that they can't speak to the gods anymore, so they start seeking out the lost ones or the forgotten ones.
Or maybe, I kind of like this, but I'm thinking like maybe the faint divinities need a certain level of magic to exist in this world, right? And once the breach closes, dude, there's not enough magic, and they get cut off.
Yeah,
and like, they need to bring the divinities back, along with kind of supercharge the heroes, so they need this mana tree.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I like it. Awesome.
All right, and so that's gonna be it for us for tonight. Sorry, these streams are so short, but is what it is. Responsibilities and all that hoopla and stuff, adult things. So. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us or watching this like after the fact. Please, if you have any comments, ideas, anything like that, please shoot them out and we'll read them. And we really appreciate your guys' involvement in all this. We hope to like kind of build like a really cool world and flesh it out with the community and everything. But we should be back next Thursday around 7:30. Hope to catch you guys then. You got anything you want to say before we head out, Zarny?
Yeah, just as usual. If you have the opportunity to do something nice for somebody today, just take the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody.
Yeah. All right. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and I look forward to any comments that you guys leave down below. And with that, we will be heading out.
See you later.
Bye.